Hello and welcome to the DSR Daily. I'm David Rothkopf, joined by Riley Fessler. How are you today, Riley?
Not too bad.
And Minna Stein. It's a new week. Minna, how are you, Minna?
Good, considering it's Monday.
Yeah, Monday. It's so hard. And it's sinking in. The summer is really gone. It's really behind us. Autumn begins this week. That's your lead story, right, Riley? Autumn begins this week.
It should be, because that's the most important story and the best
It is.
story.
It's a big deal.
All my
Yep.
stories are about autumn.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, we're taking a different tack here on the DSR Daily. We're just going to talk about feels.
Soft news.
All our feels. All right, one of you guys start with something hard.
All right. Former President Donald Trump was unharmed after a shooting incident at his West Palm Beach golf course where suspect Ryan Wesley Ruth was apprehended. The FBI is investigating the event as an attempted assassination, marking the second attack on Trump in 2 months. The Secret Service quickly engaged the suspect, who was later found and arrested on Interstate 95. Both President Biden and Vice President Harris have been briefed, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer condemned the violence while praising the Secret Service's response.
Yeah, and Kamala Harris said, "There's no place for violence in American politics. There is no place for violence in American politics." And that includes, by the way, violence incited by presidential candidates, not just directed at them. But perhaps we'll talk about that later. Riley?
Amos Hochstein, one of President Biden's key advisors, is visiting Israel amid growing concerns that ongoing cross-border clashes between Israel and Hezbollah could escalate into a larger regional conflict. As Israel shifts more of its forces to the north, the Biden administration, through Hochstein's diplomatic efforts, is trying to prevent the conflict from widening. Hochstein is expected to meet with Israeli leaders as officials, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, warn that a diplomatic solution may be running out of time. The clashes have displaced over 150,000 people from the border regions in Israel and Lebanon.
Yeah. Sure, things are running out of time there. The Israelis, I know, are worried about more fighting on the northern frontier as well as on the Gaza frontier. As long as Benjamin Netanyahu is Prime Minister of Israel, there will be more fighting. I expect the situation is going to get worse. And I think that the next month or 6 weeks is going to be particularly tough. Minute.
The FBI is investigating threats received by Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio, linked to false conspiracy theories about Haitian immigrants eating pets. These unfounded claims, which have been amplified by former President Trump and his 2024 running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, have led to multiple building evacuations in Springfield. Wittenberg University received threatening emails, including one with a bomb threat prompting remote classes and a coordinated investigation by both local police and the FBI. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has condemned the rumors as garbage and emphasized there is no evidence supporting the claims.
Yeah, well, this is the story I was referring to earlier. This is the big political violence story, not some nutcase hiding in the bushes near the Trump golf course. This is the former president of the U.S. and his running mate and his party tolerating people inciting violence against a group of immigrants who came to the United States in order to do better and by extension help us do better. But I expect as we enter into the home stretch of this campaign, particularly if Trump's fortunes continue to falter politically, that we will see more of this. Because historically, people who seek the power of a dictator or an autocrat do so by suggesting that chaos is the only alternative to them, that violence from others is the only alternative to them, and they do it to distract from the fact that they have no constructive agenda. That's precisely what is happening now with MAGA. It is as dangerous a period as we have ever seen. These are the people who incited an insurrection on January 6th. These are the people who sought to exacerbate the Black Lives Matters demonstrations that took place in the wake of the George Floyd crime. And this is their playbook. So I'm very concerned about the next several weeks. And, I think we have to recognize, and this may be a little farther than most people want to go, but that, this campaign, which is life and death, not just for Trump, but also for Vladimir Putin's efforts in Ukraine, is a form of hybrid warfare against the United States. It is a foreign-sponsored form of hybrid attacks on the U.S., not just a political campaign, but a social division campaign, a campaign to spark a conflict in the United States of America. And frankly, as you see these bomb threats and other things in Springfield, Ohio, we are much closer to a flashpoint than we may have thought we were, or that we may want to admit. Sorry for the rant there, guys, but I just think it's a real important point to make.
We tune in for the rants, so you're all good.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, well, I was kind of low energy Monday
It's
morning.
an important rant.
Yeah, low energy Monday morning rant. But
well, shifting gears a bit, TikTok is set to defend itself in court today against a U.S. law that requires its Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to sell the app within 9 months or face a ban, citing concerns over U.S. user data being accessible to the Chinese government. TikTok and ByteDance deny these claims, calling the law an infringement on free speech rights. The case, being heard by a 3-judge panel, also includes TikTok creators who rely on the platform for their livelihoods. While U.S. officials express concerns over data security and propaganda, critics argue the law could set a dangerous precedent for free speech globally. Legal experts predict the case could take months to resolve, potentially reaching the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and by months, I think you mean years. This is going to take a long time to resolve. It is going to be politically super unpleasant because there are tens of millions of people in the United States for whom TikTok is not just a guilty pleasure, but it is their primary social media point of interaction, not just with their friends, but with the whole planet. And you may think that's crazy, but I can tell how old you are by whether you think it's crazy or not. Furthermore, again, as I've said before, if you want to, avoid the abuse of data on the part of the owner of social media platforms, write laws that do that. Do it for all. Don't just do it for the one that happens to be owned in part by the Chinese. Have, ground rules for everybody. Because if you don't think Elon Musk is abusing your data, or Mark Zuckerberg is abusing your data, or that their international allegiances are not questionable, or their domestic political allegiances are not questionable, you're a sucker. Okay, and the threat from TikTok of data abuse, which may be real, is not unique, and attacking TikTok alone is not going to solve these problems. But, it's a rant-filled morning.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Two for the
Monday
price
rant.
of one.
I'll calm down. I'm happy to talk about how deserving Shogun was as a winner of 16
I was going to
Emmy
say,
awards.
I knew you'd be happy about that.
It's. Have you watched it yet? No,
I haven't.
No, you haven't. I knew you hadn't because you hate culture. You watch.
I'm guilty as charged.
You watch Godzilla. Both of you watch Godzilla movies. I mean,
Hey,
come on.
the people will agree that Godzilla -1 is a great movie.
The people.
The people, Deep State Radio fans, back me up.
Yeah,
Let David know that Godzilla -1 is awesome.
Yeah, we're going to start a new podcast for Riley called Incel Movie Reviews.
Hey, hold on.
Maybe we should switch this to a culture podcast. This rant had a lot more energy this Monday morning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've got a culture podcast coming, everybody. Don't worry. Where
It's
we'll
evoking so many emotions.
Yeah, it'll be called, Minna and Riley versus the old. I'll be the old. But by the way, I just have to say, Shogun is excellent, as good as any TV out there. But if you want the best TV out there, by the way, definitely Slow Horses. Definitely Slow Horses. I know neither of you have ever seen that either.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, keep going with your
But if you
stuff.
are looking for the best TV ever, you could watch us every morning on YouTube, recording this podcast, delivering
what
the
a
best
plug.
TV ever.
God, Minna,
Why
you're
we
so
didn't
great.
get nominated for an Emmy, I'll have no idea.
Next year.
Next year.
Next year.
Exactly.
Now that Minna's taking control of our YouTube
We missed the
and-
cutoff
and
for this year.
TikTok, exactly.
We're coming for you, John Stewart.
I may have
Exactly.
to dress better, although I am wearing my Deep State Radio T-shirt here. So,
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
yeah, which my wife gave me at one point. You can tell how old it is because it has the bird,
Yeah.
the Twitter bird. That was a thing once. All right,
It's an artifact.
and it really is, and it's also an anti-Elon statement. And I like to make anti-Elon statements. Power to
Support
the
it.
people. Power to the people. Go on. What's next?
On Sunday, the New York Times revealed a series of confidential memos from Chief Justice John Roberts, shedding light on his significant influence in Supreme Court cases involving Donald Trump. In February, Roberts expressed a preference for protecting Trump in a case about presidential immunity, and his unusual level of involvement in several cases surprised even his fellow justices. Roberts took over the case related to the January 6th Capitol riot from Justice Samuel Alito and managed to secure a ruling that expanded presidential immunity benefiting Trump.
John Roberts illustrates something that's real important and that, perhaps you guys, because you're youngs, would not appreciate. And that is, people will appear before you who look normal, who sound normal, who dress normal, who give off a pleasant, exterior presentation. And they can be the worst among us. John Roberts is the worst Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in its history. He is doing desperately dire things to the U.S. In terms of our system of law, the degradation of the Supreme Court, threats to the Constitution. Some of the rulings that he has been central in range from Citizens United all the way through to taking down Roe v. Wade and this presidential immunity decision are among the worst rulings in the history of the Supreme Court. Chief Justice Taney, 19th century reference there, guys, who presided over the Dred Scott decision, used to be considered the worst Chief Justice ever. It's not even close anymore. Roberts is terrible. And, he looks like, the guy who is the executive vice president of the local linoleum tile company, just a sort of regular guy, successful white American male. But he is a menace.
Agree.
Third rant. Rant? We should have a little rant counter down at the bottom of the screen here.
The listeners are getting a lot of bang for their buck this morning.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I don't want to get out of bed. Yeah, go on.
That's all I got.
That's all you got, Riley. You got anything else?
Nope.
Did
That's
you
all.
Did you watch the Emmys last night?
I was watching the acceptance speeches this morning, but I didn't watch them in real time.
Very, very age appropriate. What about you, Minna?
I don't really watch that much TV, so I wasn't that interested in the Emmys, except for that it was hosted by Eugene Levy, one of my faves, and so I will be watching clips of him later today.
He wasn't that funny.
No?
He's 77 years old, Eugene Levy. So, and it just was, he does the same shtick over and over and over again.
And I fall for it every time.
Yeah, well, whatever. It was. I watched for a while, and then I thought, I hate this. I hate all award shows. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this anymore. Also, every other year, the writing awards for some of the shows, like the scripted variety and talk and so forth, are done the week before during the Creative Arts Emmys. I have a particular interest in those because my daughter, as you know, is a senior writer for Last Week Tonight. So she won her Emmy Award last week, not this week. Although I was very pleased to see her colleague, boss, John Oliver, and the entire crew win the award for the best scripted variety or talk show. And then John Oliver got out and gave a great speech about his family dog that had just died. And they tried to play him off. And he said, "Fuck you" to them, which was just so beautiful.
It's very John Oliver.
It was very
John Oliver.
It was, and it's it's why his show has won
every year they win
9 years in a row now. But anyway, all right. Well, look, it's the beginning of a new week. Great things could happen this week. They won't. Terrible things will happen. But
we don't know that.
We do. No, we do. I mean, little great things may happen. You may get, I don't know, an extra, portion of, your favorite dessert. But
or you watch us every morning on YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing that happens to you this week.
Yeah, folks, really, if you think this podcast is good, why wouldn't you watch it on YouTube? It takes the same amount of time, and you get to see us. And then if you don't want that, you go to TikTok. Do this with all of our podcasts. Most people prefer to watch than to listen anyway. And today Riley's wearing a politically active T-shirt. I'm wearing a Deep State Radio T-shirt.
I missed the memo.
Minna's not.
Sad. You're not engaged.
Yeah, it's come on. Carry your weight here.
My Harris Walls shirt finally shipped, so I'll be wearing that one sometime soon.
Oh, that's nice. Well, yeah, I have a Kamala hat here someplace, but I'll wear that someday. Anyway, by the way, in case those of you who are listening don't know, I support Kamala Harris.
This might come as a shock to everyone.
Yeah, this may come as a big, that we are a little progressive leaning here. But
I haven't decided who I'm going to support yet. I think I'm going to wait till the next debate.
All of a sudden her picture disappears.
We hit the eject button.
No, she's kidding, folks.
I'm kidding.
Anyway, all right. Have a good day, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye.